What's up, YouTube and Facebook, and welcome to It's Really Bloody Hot and Not Quite Mint. I'm Tom.
I'm Rich, and yes, as I say, we are indeed very much not quite mint today.
Not quite cool.
Definitely not cool.
So today is Tuesday, and we're going to be looking at our key comics for this week that we think that you guys should be picking up for the 12th of August, not October, 2020. So should we get into it, Rich?
Yeah, let's get into it. That would be lovely.
Lovely.
But yeah, so guys, review show today. If you are new to us, do make sure that you obviously are subscribing, and the most important thing that you can give us a big Hulk smash on that thumbs up button there, because that is the biggest thing that obviously helps us out, and takes the click of a mouse, which is amazing. On top of that, obviously, if you do want to know when we are going live, if you don't want to miss any of our videos for our unboxings and stuff like that we normally drop out over the weekend, obviously do make sure that you hit the little dingly bell that Tom's in charge of. As I say, we do live streams on 6 o'clock on a Tuesday for our keys, and 6 o'clock on a Thursday where we review what we've been reading that week. So there you go.
Yeah, and if you're not already following us on any of the social media outlets, i.e. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, well, if you're watching on Facebook, you're obviously following us. But if you're not, all the links are in below, and we are on those social media sites. So yeah, please join the NQM family. So should we actually get on with this then, shall we? Yeah,
so we've got it's a really exciting week. That's the one thing that we should point out as well. Lots of things to talk about. There's some really good keys, new sort of series starting, and obviously some of our ongoing reads are getting some mega things, aren't they, Tom, this week? So it's really cool.
So we've got a couple of notable mentions. Firstly, hello, Rich. Welcome in. Pizza prize draw tonight. Rich wants to know if we're doing the prize draw tonight. Not tonight, mate, but in a couple of weeks' time, we're definitely doing it.
Yeah, we're gonna give it a big push out, and because I'm not here a week on Thursday, and we were going to do it a week on Thursday, so we're going to do it 2 weeks today, do some proper promotion with it, and all the rest of it. So yeah,
happy days. So let's do the notable mentions. So I looked at what was coming out that's worth picking up. That's not one of our top keys. And I looked at It's Something Killing the Children is a really good comic to pick up. Apparently, it's a really good run. It's really worth reading. I think I'm going to go back and reread it, as it were. I'm going to pick up issue 1, 2,
issue 9 at the moment.
9, yeah. And then we've got Hawkman as well, comes out this week, and that has got both the death of Carter Howell and the Hawk Girl, which is not unusual because they die a lot. That's part of their origin stories, is they die
resurrection
all of the time. You've got Strange Academy issue 2 in the second print, comes out again tomorrow, so that should be quite good. The actual cover is really cool because it's like a school badge.
Yeah, it's school emblem. Yeah, it's cool.
And then one for you, Rich, I didn't know whether you knew it was coming out, is the Star Wars action cover comic, which has got all the Star Wars action covers within one book, like a poster book, as it were.
Yeah, I'm probably going to wait till I'm not going to pay, because it's quite an expensive cover price sort of book. But basically, yeah, I mean, one of the things with me is with the 2015 run of Star Wars, John Tyler Christopher, who obviously does all those like Negative Space covers and stuff like that are really popular. It's basically an accumulation of all of those covers that he's done of the action figure design, and I collected a lot of those.
Yeah.
On the 2015 run, so I probably won't pick it up straight away. But yeah, it's quite a cool issue, definitely.
It'll definitely come down in price. I mean, its cover price is what you say, like $5, about a tenner.
Yeah, 8-10 quid, something like that. So yeah, I'll wait till it's like in some kind of bargain bin or something.
I did the same thing a couple of years ago. They did a Dreamwave poster book, which is all the posters that came out for Transformers. And I bought it on day of release, and it's like 10-15 quid. And then now you can pick it up for 50p.
Yeah, definitely.
I kind of wish I didn't buy it.
But it is quite cool. And I've got most of the covers anyway, so it's kind of like there's no real surprises that are going to be in there, but it'll be nice to go alongside the ones that I've got, I guess, in that respect. So cool.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so should we get into the nitty-gritty bit then, Rish? Do you want to do the first one?
We can indeed, and I mean, to be fair, this is one that's been going around. There's been loads and loads of sort of exclusive covers coming out. It's been really, really pushed, and it's and I don't know if it's been delayed as with things like that, because it seems to have been coming out for ages. But it's the G.I. Joe, a real American hero, and I believe is it a reprint of issues 26 and 27 from the 1984 series. So it redoes like the origin of Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, but like again, I used to have like the little G.I. Joe figures. I used to have the G.I. Joe figures and the Mask figures, but beyond that, I'm kind of like, I've watched the god awful films that have recently came out as well. But
going through one of these movies, it's not that bad.
Yeah, never actually read any of the comics, but I know, sort of like, in fan circles, people are really excited about this.
Yes, yeah, I'm excited about this one. I quite liked G.I. Joe back in the day. I liked the TV show. I actually didn't mind the shit movies, mainly because Ray Park plays Snake Eyes. He's one of my favorite characters of all time, so I'm probably going to pick this one up tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, it's as I say. I think they're like one of those like I don't know. They're just those types of films. I watched them and I did enjoy them, but like they're I remember, I think like the action's so crazy in there. It's a bit like it's hard. It's very hard to believe any of it, kind of thing. But
it's almost unreal, isn't it?
Yeah, but massively. But like, yeah, so it's a fun action film, and just one for a Saturday night, I suppose, isn't it? But I'm kind of interested in this one, to be honest. I don't think I'll look to buy it, but I'm interested to hear what people think about this book coming back out, kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I quite like the cover. The cover's cool, and Gabriella Donato's done a cover for this, and that looks pretty.
Yeah. Is that the one with the Snake Eyes mask?
It's Cobra Commander, but it's just literally just the helmet.
Oh, cool.
He looks cool, and I like the way he's done the metal on the face.
Yeah. Well, Gabrielle Delato's artwork's just fantastic anyway.
He's insane. Awesome. I'd love to have that much talent.
Indeed.
So next up is Detective Comics comes out tomorrow, and it is a Joker War tie-in, and apparently a must-get. I'm not really sure why it's a must-get. I couldn't find any information on why it was a must-get, but people are saying it's a must-get if you want to know what's going on in the Joker War. So I will probably pick this one up because I quite liked the couple of the issues before this with the whole they brought back Talon from the Court of Owls, which is pretty cool. So I think I'll probably pick this one up just to keep my eye in, because Joker War is wicked. Yeah.
But again, I've been reading like the Nightwing tie-ins, and then I think we reviewed one of the Batman, the Detective Comics, not that long ago. But we're obviously reading the main Joker War run, aren't we, in the Batman books, which is absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, it does intrigue me that they're saying that this is a must-read, but there's so many books coming out within the Joker War tie-in. It's like, are they just overselling it a little bit? Yeah,
definitely. Rich has just commented and said that there's a new character, possibly. So yeah, that could be interesting if there is a new character.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, cool. Well, might be one if I see it on the shelf. I might pick it up, but yeah, we'll see. I haven't heard a great deal of buzz, but a lot of the stuff with the DC comics, like, and we'll talk about it in a little bit, but they're really getting overshadowed by all the stuff that's happening on the Marvel side of the world, type of thing. Apart from all the stuff of people losing their jobs in DC and stuff like that, I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, of course.
Rather than actually like what's going on with the comics and stuff, but it's a bit of a funny one, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Those poor people, man, losing their jobs and stuff. I feel their pain.
Yeah, massively. It's not good. Corporate stuff is not good. Definitely.
No. Anyway, that brings us to your next one, Rich, you big girl.
So this is a new Image Comics one, obviously independent title. This one, we're quite intrigued by this one because the tagline of it is, obviously it's a new series, so it's always quite good from an independent point of view. But I think it's like, they sold it on the sense that, that there's all these giant men who invade the world. So who's going to fight them other than like big girls? I think that was like they're kind of like play on words with to try and get people to do this. I've seen a lot of there's again quite a few different variant covers available for this. I think Peach and Moko's done one and all the rest of it, but it does seem quite an intriguing and very different sort of premise. So I think, this is one that I like picking up the independent number ones. So I'll probably pick this up because it's always it's always the start of a new story. So worthwhile having a look at.
Yeah, it's also because I like kind of independence imaging stuff because it's creative team owned, isn't it? And this is written and drawn by Jason Howard. Howard? Yeah, Howard.
Howard, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see what this is going to pan out. And I think the concept behind it, like all these giant men and it's only the girls in the world that can save people, I quite like that.
It's a complete like different like genre breaker, isn't it? I mean, it'll be quite interesting. I wonder if they're going to like draw on. Is it kaiju, the whole Godzilla thing? It makes me wonder if it's like that. I mean, we have had obviously like going back to B movies and stuff like that. You've had like Attack of the 50-Foot Woman and all that kind of stuff going back. So it's probably not massively progressive in that respect, but it's something that we haven't really seen. So I hope it's better than things like On the Stump. Was it On the Stump and stuff like that? That was a bit.
On the Stump just didn't grab me, man.
Yeah, first issue was meh, and then like after that, I just found it. I just didn't get into it at all. But hopefully, this one's better. Definitely.
Yeah, hopefully, mate. Did you just say? I'm pretty sure you just said to going back to B movies. Did you just put G.I. Joe in a B movie rank?
No. I was talking. I didn't mention G.I. Joe in that. So he's obviously affecting your brain, mate.
G.I. Joe, and then you said going back to B movies.
Yeah, no. Well, a B. Do you actually know what a B movie is, Tom?
Sorry. A shite movie, basically.
It's not even a shite movie. It is a genre of film from around about like the 1950s and 60s that was heavily based in sci-fi, and I was brought up on that crap from my dad.
Crap, though.
And it was like you had like he loved it because it was like these big monsters. It was like the Blob and Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and it was like Tarantula and all these kinds of things. Harryhausen, I think his name Haushausen or something, was the guy who directed them, and they were very very of a certain era, and all that as I say, it's of a time long since gone, and I'm just showing my age as well. So.
I think they should do more B movies and not as many blockbusters. I like the B movies; they're cool.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, because they were like a subgenre at that point, with it being sci-fi films and stuff like that. They were literally like the lowest production values ever. Like, and they're quite hilarious to look. I mean, Creature from the Black Lagoon and things like that. I mean, like. It's just hilarious to see them now. But yeah, my dad was obsessed by stuff like that. So I've seen way too many scary horror films like that, way to a tender age, definitely.
No horror movies.
No, you don't do horror movies, do you, Tom? So
no, thank you. Right, moving on. There's another independent that comes out this week, and it is Seven Secrets, and it's from Boom Studios this time around, and it is one of my favourite writers, Tom Taylor, on the run of this one. And also, actually, I didn't realise until I started doing a bit of research into it that it's also one of my kind of go-to artists at the moment, who works on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and Daniela Nicolo.
Yeah.
Anyway, so basically the story. Is there's like an order. They've got to kind of look after these seven secrets. They keep them guarded, in these seven briefcases, and then this guy or enemy that essentially comes looking for these briefcases, and it all goes to shit. So I like the idea of there's seven secrets that could destroy the world, are encased in a briefcase, and these people are looking after these seven briefcases. This one person knows about it. He's coming for these seven briefcases. I think it's going to be quite an interesting one. And I think it's one of those kind of, when a character doesn't know that they're involved, and then they're suddenly involved, and then they're the hero of the story. I think that's kind of the premise behind it. But there's a main character in this. I don't know if you can see him in the image. He kind of looks a bit like an old school Thor, but he's covered in Norse runes, like all up his arms and all like around his neck. So I think he's obviously got something to do with North mythology. So I'm massively.
So you're in with the Viking,
yeah, straight in. I really wanted to get involved in that one.
That sounds good, mate. Yeah, to be fair, I think this is definitely on one of the short lists to be reviewed, isn't it? This obviously everything here we're talking about today. Most of them we'll probably read, but depending on how good it is, it'll be interesting if we do a full review of Big Girls in this one, because we don't normally touch on the independents that much, do we? So it's sort of it's quite exciting to have two books this week that are new start key issues and actually sound like. Like that they've got some legs in there as well, like some, something to get a bit of a hook on there. So I read about this one obviously, and it's definitely something that I think screams to me, future film or like TV show or something like that. Yeah. The plot sounds really cool.
I have to be honest, I completely missed it to start with on the first time round when I was reading about it. What actually hooked and drawed me into this is there is a second printing of this already in the pipeline, and the cover is by Dan Mora, who is an artist that I've become slightly obsessed with over the lockdown period. So that literally hooked me in, and I was like, as soon as I saw the guy with the Norse runes, I had to know what was going on. So yeah, pretty cool. Looking forward to that one.
Yeah, cool. So I think that's a definite read for me. Awesome. So now we're moving on to not one of our favourite books, but again, it is part of this big Empire series that's going on with Marvel. We're mentioning it as part of our keys still, not necessarily because we're really enjoying reading it, but more so that it is going to be. This event is going to be very important in terms of like what is about to come, I believe. So if we're talking about like the King in Black, and there's going to be a Fantastic Four miniseries called Antithesis coming out soon as well, or Antithesis. So this, if you're not reading this, do you know what I mean? I think you're going to be missing out late on the stuff later in the year, basically. But yeah, I mean, we're jumping in with this. It's part 5. Start of it was really good. The preludes for X-Men, Avengers, and Fantastic Four were really good. Issue 1 hit. It was okay, but it's almost like the whole book so far tend to take a bit of time to get going, and then right at the final act, they give you, some big reveal. And then you have to wait a week for the next comic to come out. And I'm glad that these are coming out once a week, mate, because I don't think I'd handle it after that. But I'm hoping that it gets better.
I think I'd have jumped off if it had been a monthly thing. I definitely would have jumped off after issue 2, because it's just not hooked me in this one. I've read it, but I feel the tie-ins, like the X-Men tie-in, the Captain America tie-in, and some of the other stuff that's going on in Marvel that ties in with this is so much better and so much richer than this actual main story. And it's really annoying, because normally the main story is the richest part, and the kind of sub-stories are the ones that kind of make it better. Yeah. But in my opinion, the sub-stories are overshadowing this main 6-part story. So is it 6-part? 6-part
story.
I
think it is 6 parts. So thankfully, the thing that we do get is, I think we get obviously part 6, and then I think in the final week, so in a couple of weeks' time, I think it'll be like the 29th of August or whatever. I think that's when we get potentially the Empire's End book that's got Null on the
Null one. Yeah.
So I'm really hoping that everything that's happening in Thor and all the rest of it, that we'll have Empire will end not like next week with issue 6, and then the week after that we'll get Empire's End, and it'll start bringing the wider, more exciting stories with Thor and Venom all together. Because we know, again, we keep on saying Null's coming. We know he's the King in Black. Obviously later this year, that sort of big cross event multi-series that we've got to get prepared for, and that's why this is sort of like still featuring in our key list, because we are reading it because we want to understand what we've got to come, I think. And I think that's the best way of explaining it. I don't think it's going to be like this part 5 is not going to be a book that's going to be worth loads of money, but from a story writing perspective, you've got to keep reading these because we're just not too sure what would happen.
I think, unfortunately, this is definitely one of those series that if you didn't pick up on issue 1, but you want to know what happens, stick with it, read, all the 6 issues. But if you can wait for it to come out on trade and read them all in one go, do that. Because there's no point reading it each week, I don't think. I think just read it as a full run, as an actual graphic novel or as a trade or hardcover. Because the gap in between, like, I know it's every week, but I get enough time to think, I can't be asked to pick that up next week.
Yeah, definitely.
That's my opinion, anyway.
No, yeah, fair play. I think that's a good estimation. I think that's a good reason why we've got it here, because anybody who watches it might be feeling the same way. But again, it's just like, maybe just bear with it for the next couple of weeks, and then let's assess when they've done that Empire's end event and see how things start coming together. Definitely.
Yeah,
so next book.
So next one up is Empire. No, not Empire.
No.
Issue 3, and I am excited for this one. And it feels like it came out ages ago. Issue 2, and issue 2 was so good. Issue 1 was amazing.
Yeah,
issue 2 was good, and it kind of like just re-solidified issue 1. So I'm excited for issue 3. We've had all this hype about the Robin King from the Dark Knight's Death Metal Legends of, which was last week, which is now a stupidly expensive book. But this is going to be his second appearance. But there is a little bit of a debate going on of whether this Robin King that features in Death Metal is the same Robin King that we've come across in Death Metal Legends of the Dark Knight. Because obviously in Death Metal issue 2, if you've not read it, there's a little bit where the Darkest Knight has a chit-chat with one of his groblins. It looks like he's the Robin King. So there's a little bit of a debate of who the Robin King is, which one's which, or whether it's like a kind of like the idea of Robin, in essence, that Robin is a mantle and anybody can be Robin. I think that's the idea, that the Robin King essentially is a mantle that can be held by any particular person. I think that's kind of where they're going with it.
Yeah, I think that's the only based on the apparent origin story, because we were obviously told by Snyder through social media and all the rest of it that we obviously had that like introduction to the idea of the Robin King in issue 2, that we would have his origin in this Legends of Death Metal, which was last week, and technical first appearance. But yeah, like you say, it's sort of like how we have, the Darkest Knight at the end of the day, he's like this merger between like a Dr. Manhattan and the Batman Who Laughs, who was obviously killed in the end of the first issue. If you haven't seen it, check it out. And then if maybe this like there's like this reputation somewhere within the Dark Multiverse of this Robin King character who we saw in the Legends book. And then we're going to have like something's obviously happened to him, or they're going to merge this Groblin with this, like Robin King character that we saw in Legends. And I don't know, something's got to happen, because I can't see how Robin King in the Legends is going to just walk in and be like, "Hi, I'm the Robin King. Let's get on with it." I think, they've got to explain something somewhere. And I really do hope they do, because I'll be let down if they don't.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like last week's origin story of Robin King was a complete letdown, because he wasn't Robin; he was Batman with a different title.
Yeah, exactly. He was a horrible version of Bruce Wayne, who ended up calling himself the Robin King as opposed to a Batman. Yet we're talking obviously, Dark Multiverse characters here, who in every other multiverse that we've seen, there are multiple different types of Batman. So are we talking in that particular part of the multiverse, we've got a Robin King and no Batman equivalent, and it just didn't really make much sense, did it? It just was a bit
not at all. I have to be honest, I really wanted it to be either a Jason Todd that never got killed, that just became a really badass Robin, or a Nightwing that just fell off his perch and went down the rabbit hole of becoming evil. That's what I
agree. So fingers crossed.
Yeah,
and I really like. I mean, I really like the cover on this one. There is the Federici cover as well. If anybody's lucky enough to get that, because whilst Yeah, it's whilst it isn't the first cover appearance of the Robin King, because that was obviously on the Legends, like 1 in 25. That's like the £200 comic. But this is effectively like a first solo cover appearance of the Robin King. So whether that'll have any legs, further down the road, I don't know. But it's a really cool atmospheric cover that's proving quite popular. So do keep your eyes open for that. Indeed.
So, mate, that brings us to our number one key spot / pick for this week, and it's up to you, mate.
Yeah, and this one is Venom 27. So obviously at the moment we've got Venom and Thor, written by Donny Cates, absolute fire books at the moment. They're absolutely amazing. This Venom 27 obviously picks up from the events of issue 26, where obviously you've got sort of like the Maker, this newly appeared obviously virus character. We don't know who he is yet, and obviously Eddie and Dylan obviously pulled through this portal into this apparent alternate universe, and everywhere in this universe is this really ominous red null / Venom like symbol everywhere, and that's how it was left. It's obviously we're starting this whole Venom Beyond storyline, and we're going to get to find out more about it. Now, again, I don't know exactly what's going to happen in the story in this. Apparently there's lots of really cool things that are going to happen in this book. The reason why you should be picking it up, though, first and foremost, is they are saying that it is going to be the first full appearance of this new kind of character called Codex. So he's been seen in cameo in issues 25 in the centerfold. He's like got the red sort of symbol, like say a bit like Venom, a bit like Null, in the middle, white hair, half face mask, all that. Codex is going to be his first full appearance. And we've also got it's basically an alternate reality version of Agent Venom that's apparently going to come around with this. Now, there is a second printing cover that has came out in the last couple of days as well. It's a bit of a spoiler, I think, and it does appear that we're getting some kind of like a symbiote Avengers type of thing maybe that's going to come through here. So it's going to be really cool to see what happens in this book, and there's a lot of stuff that's going to happen. 100% going to be our pick of the week, isn't it, in terms of a key of the week? I think definitely going to be reviewing it. How excited are you, Tom?
On a percentage of 1 to 100, probably about 95. I've got a little bit of a fear about it, because sometimes with these books you can get really excited and they come out and they just slightly disappoint. But yes, I am 95%.
95.
I'm gonna enjoy this book. Everything Donny Cates is doing, like the Venom, the Thor, he's just shitting out solid gold, mate. He's incredible. This is so good. The Venom run is great. I'm excited for it because, like you said, I've seen the slight spoiler second print to this, and I'm intrigued how they're going to do these Venom style Avengers. And I am also intrigued to see what this new Agent Venom might look like. I really hope they're not going to drop the bombshell and be like, well, actually, Virus is your second Agent Venom, because that would be annoying, because I like Virus as he is. But we'll see. Yes, very excited. Definitely looking forward to reading this one. And I do agree with you. Not that I want to pick our key of the week straight away this week, because we haven't read it yet. But I pretty much 95% think this will be the key of the week for sure. I think on Thursday.
It's whether it'll be key of. It's definitely going to be key of the week, but it's whether or not it's going to be our book of the week, which is the bit that you've just said. Will the story deliver so that it gets the double crown? That's the question. Or will it be Detective Comics? That might be the read of the week.
I think the challenger, if it's not going to be Venom or Empire, and he said Empire again. It's either Venom, Death Metal, or I have a feeling it's going to be the Secret Seven. I think that's going to be a real curveball, that one.
Yeah, definitely, and it's one of those, isn't it? Where I think like the book I would tell people, whilst obviously the print run of the books are increasing, they're always high with DC, so you have to be a little bit careful. And obviously the popularity of this Venom series, the print runs are going to be higher. So in terms of this book being mega high valued in years to come, it's yet to see, but it's certainly going to be a popular one, and certainly not as highly printed as some of the books from the 90s and stuff like that. But from a key perspective, like speculative, I think this is your book. But yeah, like you said, in terms of once we've read the story and how it comes across, we've got a real, like, it's going to be interesting on Thursday to go through our reviews and see if we agree on that story element of things. You know what I mean? It's like last week showed everybody's our key of the week was the Legends of the Dark Knights, but story wise we were massively underwhelmed. So what is going to come through, I think it's a really exciting week.
Cheers, mate. Absolutely 100% a very interesting week this week, especially because for the first time for a long time we've got 2 independents in our top.
Indeed, that we are. Definitely shall read them, definitely, because I don't think, as I say, I'll necessarily read G.I. Joe. I might read Detective Comics if it is essential, but I'll probably wait for you to read that and then see what you think if it is something that needs to be read, so I can review it properly. But yeah, Big Girls, 7 Secrets, definitely going to read that one. Death Metal, obviously going to read, and Venom, goes without saying, going to read. So,
yeah. Oh, mate, I missed the most important book in that list. You're not going to read Empire?
Yeah, and I'll read Empire. But
Yeah,
I don't want to. But like as I say, I feel like you've got to keep. We're invested in it now. I feel like we've read six of the 4 main books and 2 of the tie-ins. So we might as well see out the last 2 or 3.
I've stupidly read all the tie-ins, so I kind of know what's going on behind the scenes, and I still don't understand the main story.
Yeah, it does. There's too many. I think there's too many elements to it, isn't there? And we don't know who's betraying who, and it's all a bit strange. The Katati are definitely proving to be a very devious kind of well-planned and organised group. But how long-lived they're going to be, I'm not too sure. I think
actually that just reminds me. There's a slight curveball. If the one of the better books that came out last week that we didn't get a chance to put in our review show that I did read over the weekend is the tie-in for this, which is the origin story of the Messiah, the
Celestial Messiah. Yeah,
Celestial Messiah. His one-shot story was actually really well written, and it explains how the Swordman's got in his head to make him become evil, even though Mantis isn't evil. It explains that there's some things that Mantis has done in the past that he's like, you're trying to be this, you're trying to say you're this really good guy when actually you've caused a lot of issues in the past. Yeah, it is worth picking up. If you're reading Empire, I would definitely read that one shot, just because it's probably the best piece of written stuff to go alongside it that makes some of it make sense. If that makes sense, what I've just said.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but yeah, it's just a bit of a confusing story, isn't it, Empire? But we'll persevere and we'll see what we think.
Yeah,
we'll see what we think, but it'll probably be just another bout of disappointment. But we have finished all of our books. Those are all the keys that we think you should be looking out for. Obviously, tomorrow on New Comic Book Day on the 12th of August. Obviously, we are going to be in 2 weeks' time having a relatively big giveaway done and dusted. So keep your eyes peeled, because we'll get a video out for that giveaway, and also just obviously explain all how to take part and everything like that. But it'll be on social media. That's one of the big things. Make sure you follow us on social media. Make sure you're subscribed. And I haven't got any of the prizes to show you because I can't. My upstairs room isn't receiving Wi-Fi. So, but yeah, definitely keep with us on that.
I can tell you some of them off the top of my head. So there's 7 comics. There's a sketch cover by me. There's Detective Annuals issue 3 and DC Inkillables issue 1, the Matina cover. That's as far as I can remember.
Yeah, there were our 2 picks of the month for, I think, going back to February, like pre sort of COVID and everything like that. But we're trying to get the weekly, the monthly giveaways going again, and we'll start it off with this, and then we'll plan something else for sort of obviously in September and onwards. But do make sure you keep your eyes open for obviously how to take part in that.
Yeah, I'm posting that on Instagram pretty much after this video, just so you can all start getting involved. And I think me and Rich are going to put a video up to tell you how to get involved as well, just in case you miss it on social media.
Probably drop it out next week sometime, just as a bit of a standalone, just so that we can capture all the events. What we would say is that everybody who has taken part in the giveaway previously, because as I say, we did start it back in February, we will gather all those entrants as a standalone, and then everybody can enter again. So everybody who entered previously will effectively get 2 entries into it. So just to be fair to everybody, because obviously since February we have gained new subscribers, new people watching us, and all the rest of it. So we're just trying to be fair to everybody. And we've had we've not really known the best way of going about doing this giveaway, because obviously the time frame involved with the whole lockdown situation and everything. So we're going to get this done and then look forward for the future and all the rest of it. We're also really, really close to 200 subscribers, so do make sure that you are subscribed, giving us the thumbs up on all of our videos, interacting in the comments, and following us on social media. But I'm pretty
share it with your friends. Make sure you share it with your friends.
Share it with your friends. So I'm all done. So I just want to say, obviously, take care till next time.
Yeah, I'm going to say thank you very much for sticking with us and watching the video. It's been great. It is sweltering. I do apologise for our sweaty faces. And I'm just going to say, stay safe, look after yourself, read loads of comics, and see ya!